Waiting on your renovation funds, stop scrolling. Get your withdrawals released like unlocking like a levels of a game. You can't just show up and hope for the best. You need to write proof at every stage. And in this video, I'm going to show you a simple step-by-step guide to speed up your draw process and avoid delays so that you can get your contractors paid. From photos to the contract paperwork to the secret lender checklist, I'm going to show you how to treat this well-oiled money machine, especially especially for these fix and flippers, as well as these Burr method contractors and investors. So you want your rehab funds to be released fast. Watch now before you're stuck holding the hammer with no cash to keep swinging. So the first thing that you want to do, at least with us, first document you get is the Holdback Guidelines. And so I'm going to go over step by step of what you would need so that you can get those funds quickly. So typically you get congratulations, your loan closed, you get information from the loan servicer and the holdback administration so that you'll be able to see exactly where you can go to make calls and so forth. Of course, you can call us. Now, in order for us to process your draw, please follow these steps. So, like step one, you got to complete the draw request form. So, the draw request form is going to look something like this. And with this document, so you got you your loan number here. You listed as a borrower. Obviously, I like this all out because this is an actual client of ours, right? The address of the property, and then which withdrawal request you're going to do. So, like for here, if you're doing plumbing, and plumbing in this case, it's 25. I mean, it's 12 grand 500. How much of this work is being done? So, like installing the pipes, fittings, fixtures, you know, typically with plumbing, right? You got all the maybe doing a brand new bathroom or replumbing a new bathroom, whatever. So you got all the details here. And then once that, whatever percentage of that work has been completed, you put that there and the amount requested. Now, typically we'll do 30, 30, 40. So let's just say you did 30% of that. And so I don't if you can see my calculator, but 12,500 times 30% is 3,750 for this particular, if it's 30% of this. But it could be more, right? Uh, Typically, we want to do a 30% draw on the whole project. So maybe this is you completed all of plumbing or a percentage of it, because a lot of times some things you have to do before other things that you can do, right? So, all right. So then you get that, and then you get this the signed lien waiver from your contractor, right? And so the lien waiver looks like this, where it has a property address, the you as a borrower, and then maybe another person that's a point of contact. So maybe you have like a foreman, a forewoman, and then the borrower's telephone number, the contractor's business name. So if someone else is doing that work for you, right? That's their information, then their contact information, and then what work is being done, right? You want to the detailed on here on what work has been done. You don't want to put everything on that line, right? You want to parcel it out, and then it'll the cool thing about it, when you just type in it, it'll have the total on here, and then payments received up to this date. So that's the payment. So the charges, the amount that work that's completed. And remember, this is for the work that's being completed, right? This is work that the contractor has done for you, or maybe even you've done, and then how much you're asking for the draw request, and then payments received to this date and amount of work, and then you have this contractor sign this and date it, and then you put the name of the person who signed the work, right? And that's the cool thing that you get a dis disbursement on. And one of the questions that get constantly I get asked is, well, can I get funds back for the work that's been done before? Is well, as long as it was pre-approved on this borrower affidavit, it was put on here that that was already done and completed, and and obviously, yeah, we'll pay you for that, work before the loan amount, whatever. All right, so that's the second. Provide paid invoices or receipts for work completed. So you want to get the lien waiver, and then you also want to get the receipts, and then you want to provide a payment instruction so we can send you the draw, right? Where do we send the money? I mean, isn't that really important? So, and then make sure you reference your loan number and the proper correspondence, property address on all correspondence. So right here, so you got information. So it might be you individually, or it might be your business name. Probably it's your business name. You see here where the loan number is, and uh, one thing this could be used for each one. And then you got the bank name, bank phone number, the name on the bank account, address, all this information right here, and authorize, initiate the wire entries and so forth, account owner signature, which would be used so that you confirm that this is where the funds will go to. And that's step one. And then step two, then we'll have our third party order the property inspection, right? And then step three, upon receipt and review all the items, including a lien search, because we want to make sure there's no liens on the property. The draw will be released. And then, so how quickly can I get my money? Well, our holdback team will respond with your withdrawal request within 48 hours, receipt of all of everything, right? And then turn out disbursements are typically 24 hours after that. But it depends on your bank, right? I've seen the funds go in there, sometimes that next day, sometimes depends on how your bank does, how they receive the funds via HH. So number of things that need to know. So bill first. So the disbursement's only made for installed materials and completed labor. All right, I can't give you funds can't be given on something that hadn't been done, right? Would disperse funds to the borrower directly, not the contractor. So if contractor is looking like at this, it's responsibility in the borrower to ensure that the contractors get paid. So you want to make sure that that's get paid. And then I guess if you're a contractor, you have a lien waiver, you know, you say, obviously subject to or whatever. And then interest accrual. So this is really cool. For your benefit as a borrower, we'll set aside your draw holdback funds as soon as your loan closes, but interest will accrue on the entire amount, including the holdback funds from the beginning. So you don't have to pay that on a monthly basis, right? So that way you won't get behind the eight ball. Now there is an administrative fee for the draws to be paid, for the administrative costs of managing the draw and the holdback process. Unfortunately, we have to pay those people have to be paid that's helping us do all this. And I mentioned this earlier, but I want to point it out here. So typically we prefer a maximum of three draws. And so there'll be the first draw would be 30% of the holdback amount. And second draw will be another 30%. And then the final draw would be 40%, the 40% of the draw. So get about there's, unlike contractors who get the retain it. There's no retainage or anything like that. But and then here's where you email our our holdback team, and this is really important. So don't miss a scheduled inspection, okay? So you or your point of contact miss a scheduled inspection. We don't want our guys or gals to go out there and they can't assess the job. So make sure that you there, someone's trustworthy there, uh, to be there, right? Um, and so and we do a lean search on here, for each draw request before each dispersal of funds. We just want to make sure, no funky business going there. But when you're ready for the next draw, all you have to do is just rinse, repeat. And typically, you know, be ready to submit all draw requests prior to the expiration of your construction draw period, which is 180 days after initial loan closing. And sometimes if you need more time, don't wait till the last minute to request. There is some provisions when that can be done. But basically that's it. Hey, if you have questions about that, it's really that easy. And most of the lenders out there have some of the similar processes and so forth like that. And if you look at watching this and you're saying, well, hey, how do I get this type of funding? Definitely watch the video below or above right there, and talk to you soon.